Hello and welcome to the Sidebar. I'm working the Swiss Alps this week and I couldn't bring all my good camera equipment, so you're going to get some very nice scenery and some quite poor video production standards. Speaking of good and bad, we've got a question this week about Haas F1. Their initial success has surprised, well, most people to be honest, and we thought we'd ask our experts, F1 customer teams, a good idea or a dangerous path not to be trodden?
The debate around the Haas F1 customer model in Formula 1 has subsided somewhat after a rather disappointing race in Shanghai. Now, last year Haas clearly allowed Ferrari to use some of the American team's design process and their wind tunnel time to Ferrari's benefit. And of course, Haas have turned up this year with a spectacularly competitive car. But look, that's all over. It won't be able to happen again. And what I'm interested now in what those are thinking who are most directly affected by the Haas customer team design and build car model. So Bob Fernley, what's he got to say about it? Well, his team are 12 points behind Haas, and he's a little bitter about how it all happened. However, he makes the point that he's not sure that Haas have yet got a long-term structure in place. And of course, cars get 2 seconds a lap quicker over the year, so it'll be interesting to see whether they can continue or they can maintain a pace of development to stay with the likes of Force India. Claire Williams, however, her team are 11 points ahead of Haas. She thinks it's all great. More competition on track, happy days. An American team, even more happy days. But the customer car debate will continue and we will return to it. And as Yorkshire Bob suggests, only time will tell.
Hi there, everybody. Matt Trumpets here to answer the burning question, the question that's been keeping you up at night. Oh, wait, sorry, that was your newborn. Is Gene Haas good or bad for Formula One? And of course, the correct answer is a little bit of both, to quote the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Gene Haas is good for Formula One in that he shows that someone can come in with a proper budget, around $80–100 million, and be competitive. But bad for Formula One because it depends entirely on the largesse of the manufacturer, and more to the point, the door that he walked through has been closed forever by regulation changes driven by the incessant whinging of Mercedes-AMG about all the unfair wind tunnel testing that they did before they came in, which points to the real problem. The real problem is running the aero on these cars has become so expensive that no one can really afford to come in at ground zero and compete. It's kind of like giving a 6-year-old 2 + 2 = 4. Okay, kid, get started on calculus. It's gonna take them a while if they ever get it together. On the other hand, you go to school, they explain to you how it works, and voila, you have calculus in your pocket forever, and you can go off and be an engineer should you be interested in never having a social life. I digress again. The fact of the matter is, the real answer is the midfield consortium. But again, to get there, you have to change the listed parts. Interestingly, listed parts. 2013, there were 20 categories. 2014, there were 11. 2015, there were 8. And that is when Gene Haas, he of the Hendrick Motorsports Partnership and NASCAR, came in. And will we know if this really works? No, we won't really know until he can properly challenge the Ferraris. When he does that, we'll see how it works. Wasn't a problem in NASCAR, but I hear the Italians might be a little more touchy than the good old boys. We'll have to see. The jury is out. But in the meantime, it's good to have a new team being properly competitive, so let's look at the bright side while we still can.
I have 2 curious tales to tell you about F1 tonight, both of which complete lies. First lie is that it thinks it's road relevant. It isn't. Think about the 2014 power units, the hybrid turbos. Bit of an evolutionary dead end as far as I'm concerned. We all know that we're going to have to go electric. So, and you got the other lie, the lie that it thinks that it's at the forefront of all things automotive. Well, we all know that's crap. Let's think about what Haas and Ferrari are doing. They're kind of globalising what they do in the sport. And how can we tell that? Well, look at what globalisation in automotive does. It platform shares, it has common parts, common design team, common facilities even, and well, that's a can of worms with the the shared aero testing in Maranello last year, especially when Haas actually have their own facilities in Charlotte, probably the most advanced in the world, but let's not go there, that's a can of worms. So is it Haas and Ferrari, are they doing right by the sport? I think actually they are, because perhaps this is the only way that F1 will survive. Think about the costs rising, it's unsustainable, everyone agrees with that, so I vote Gene Haas.
Thanks for the contributions, fellas. Some very interesting thoughts in there. Don't forget that if you like the Sidebar, you should subscribe to TJ13 TV, comment below the video, and make sure you visit thejudge13.com. See you next time.